Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. My garden assistant is here with me, and I knew that we would be doing a lot of cutting, or at least I would be doing a lot of cutting for drying in the garden, and I'm getting distracted by the butterflies. But I wanted to give you just a quick tour. If you're new here, my name is Bobby. Thanks so much for joining us. And so I'll show you around the cut flower garden and my renovated garden. I don't think I've given you an updated tour. So let's start here on the outside of the garden, and we planted several successions. You can see the different heights of the pro-cut sunflowers. A lot of these are really ready to harvest, but this is pro-cut bicolor, I believe. Isn't that pretty? And I always have such a problem with ants on my pro-cut sunflower. So I wash my pro-cuts once I cut them in a mixture of Castile soap and water, and that takes care of the ant problem, because you don't want to send sunflowers to somebody full of ants. Here's another succession of pro-cut sunflowers, and I will be drying some of these, and some of these are already a little bit past their prime, so I leave them for the birds. So if you want to move over here, honey. You can see here, this is all self-sowed celosia, and I removed a bunch of it. It was all up in here, but I've left a little bit for the pollinators. So once you have celosia in your garden, you'll have it forever. And this is yellow yarrow, and this is a second flush. I love the yellow because it dries really well. Then I have some red yarrow, and then this is a variety of rudbeckia, but I can't remember which one. And then these are just some bedding plant zinnias, and these are, I think they're called dragon's beard celosia. And then behind us, I don't know if you watched the video where we direct sowed these two beds here. This is zinnias. These are, were they purple and yellow, I think? Or purple and orange, right? And I had them covered for a while. I did have a little bit of cutworm action on them, but they're getting ready to bloom. So I did have a comment from someone saying that you do not direct sow. You should never direct sow. Well, here's the proof that you can direct sow. This is another bed, a succession of pro-cut sunflowers that we direct sowed. My garden assistant did, who is my granddaughter. And then this is sunspot, these smaller ones. These are sunspot sunflowers. It's a shorter variety of sunflower. That's like a branching sunflower. And this I have fallen in love with. You want to move around a little closer there, darling. Look at that. This is Tribola rudbeckia. And this is a cool flower, but look how it's just still going really strong. I love it. This is another variety of rudbeckia. If I can remember and find the name, I'll put that on the screen for you. And then some gomphrena that we'll be harvesting to dry. And then over here, you can see the bed of straw flowers. And I've pulled some of them out already, but I'm going to be harvesting the rest and then taking those out. I was going to sow this entire bed with a new succession of sunflower, but because I realized I wouldn't have enough turnaround time, I want to plant this whole bed in fall sowed cool flowers. So we will empty this bed out here really soon. But the straw flowers did very well. We've dried most of them, I guess, haven't we, honey? Yeah. So this little barrel here has parvulagum eucalyptus and bunny tails grass, and it never got very tall, but it's really cute. I love that. It's really cute. And I probably will grow this in the future. Bunny tails is actually a cool flower, so I think that's why it never grew very tall. I kind of grew it at the wrong time. So we'll move in now to the enclosed part of the cut flower garden. All right, so as you come in the gate, hold the gate for you. You can see this first bed is just kind of a menagerie of things. These bachelor's button are gone over, of course. They're a cool flower, but I am leaving them because the goldfinch love the the seeds. So they come in here and they sit right on top and they eat the seeds. And then this is saponaria. I'll throw a picture up on the screen. I just keep sowing saponaria over and over, and you can see here all of the seeds. So then I will just keep sowing those, or save the seeds to sow them. And then there's some Chinese forget-me-nots. I love those. I do the same with those. I just keep sowing and sowing and sowing. But they're actually a cool flower. But they're so pretty. So in this next bed, you can see this is a dinner plate dahlia, but it's actually on the smaller side. I think it's a decorative dinner plate dahlia, and a lot of blooms getting ready to open, and then some salvia, some lobelia. And this is another salvia that the pollinators just love. Isn't that pretty? Pink. And these lights I've been having so much fun with. Can you see the lights from your house? I will put some footage of the lights, at night, but they're so much fun. This bed is Gomphrena and this yellow statice that I absolutely love for drying. I have a little bit more here, but statice, of course, is a cool flower. And behind it, you can see this row of China asters. I thought they were going to get tall. They usually get tall for me, but they didn't. So, but they're still pretty. Okay, so you can see I've left my patriotic theme up. I'm still like in the patriotic mode, but I'm getting ready. I'm really getting ready for autumn. I'm really like in my mind, I'm so ready for autumn. Let's show this bed. So this is a dwarf crepe myrtle, and it sat in its nursery can here at my house for a year. I didn't plan it out. And then when we renovated these beds, butterflies are everywhere. We're going to defer to the butterflies some in this video. Look at that. That's lantana. That butterfly is feasting on right now. But back to this, this crepe myrtle. I did not, when we renovated this bed, I said, oh, this is a perfect spot. My husband and I built this little wooden bed here out of these cants that he brought home for me. And I said, well, it's not going to do anything, but it is full of blooms. I'm so excited. And then you can see the Gara is putting on its second flush of blooms. And then there's salvia. And a bunny makes his bed right underneath there. He's not there now, but he makes his bed there. So this is, in these two beds here, you see where we did our kind of renovation makeover thing. This armillaria I love. I found this in Lancaster, and it's made by the Amish. So fun. So I have a few perennials in here. This is Heliopsis here, or false sunflower. I need to deadhead that some, but then there's an echinacea. But then you can see the, this is just annual ageratum there. And also I have a yarrow that I just cut back, some dill that is just about finished. Dill is actually a cool flower. And there's a saving grace dahlia there, and another saving grace dahlia. I think she actually calls, from North Lawn Flower Farm, I think she actually calls it sharing grace from her personal collection. And then this cleome I am loving so much, loving it. It's just, I haven't deadheaded it, I haven't done anything. And then this is just a little, these are scabiosa here. I had some left over, and some more asters, and this fun light I'll show you. Here's some more saving grace dahlia, and we will be deadheading. A lot of the blooms are spent, or sharing grace, I should say. I am really loving the variation. I mean, these are just so sweet. And I've had yellow and pink and salmon color and this red, kind of burgundy. Is that coming up here? No. But anyway, the sharing grace I'm just loving. This is Gomphrena here, that a lot of it is gone over a little bit now, but definitely need to get all of this to dry. And then this is the calamint or calamintha that you can see the pollinators. You want to come around here. Can you get those bees on that? That is, that's a variety of mint, but look at the bee action on it. It's just, and it doesn't spread like mint. It's not like aggressive. Aw, hello. Hello, little bumblebee, sorry. And you can see here the lisianthus, I just cut it back, but it's already starting to flush back with more blooms. Lisianthus likes a little bit cooler weather. I had to take off, I had a roof on here that my husband built. It was just awesome roof. I'll show you, it's leaning up against the fence, but the original flush of lisianthus was outgrowing the roof. So we had to take that off, but the second flush of lisianthus won't be as tall as the first. And then this is some more of the yellow status that most of it's gone over now. And this is rooster peppers that I will use for drying. So I'm pretty excited about those. I might have to get you to help me to know how to dry them. You're better at that than I am. She just dried a bunch of peppers. How did they turn out?
They haven't turned out yet.
They haven't turned out yet. Okay, I spoke too soon. So this bed here, these are all bedding plant zinnias, and I am so loving them. Not one bit of powdery mildew, no fungal diseases, and I overhead water. I'll show you the sprinkler in a minute. My granddaughter planted these, my garden assistant. She planted these, and she planted them in these perfect rows. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, and behind that is Benary's Giants. I use those for cutting. A lot of those need to be deadheaded. But can you zoom in on this gate? This gate was here on the farm. So it was my garden assistant's great-grandmother's gate there in her yard. And then this, just a fun little barrel of, oh, what is that called? Mandevilla vine. And just mishmash, lantana, and some Chinese evergreens. And then this fun little light. Isn't that cute? Oh, it's so cute at night. I love it.
I thought that the lights in your garden were campfires the other night. They were so bright.
Did you think my garden was like on fire? Were you going to come down here and put out some fires?
No, I didn't think it was on fire, but there's like 3 different bright spots.
Uh-huh. Yeah. My sign. And if you may have seen, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I am certified. This garden is certified pollinator garden. So happy to be able to qualify for that. Look at this bee. This is a honeybee here. Oh, look at the pollen on its legs. Can you see that? So fun. So moving over here, you can see this is just a cedar panel from Lowe's, and I thought it kind of really did made a nice walkway. And then these cool, these are locust blocks that my husband had some locust trees, and he made some blocks for me. This is a really pretty dahlia, and the name tag is like all the way underneath the dahlia. Isn't that pretty? And then these are queen lime zinnias here. A lot of them need to be deadheaded, but I've been having so much fun just leaving things in the garden and, you know, not doing a lot of cutting. Then I have a hole over here, right here, and sorry to say that a bunny, it was a beautiful dahlia full of buds, and a bunny chopped it off. Didn't eat the dahlia, just chopped it off. So it's sad, but anyway, I guess the bunny had fun. Here's another Sharing Grace dahlia here that I need to put. I think I'm going to put an obelisk around. And then this old chair was just here on the farm. I thought that was really fun to put in there. So while we're here, you can see this bed of rocket snapdragons and a few lisianthus that need to be deadheaded. And the rockets need to be deadheaded as well, but they are, you know, the snapdragons are a cool flower, but rocket, that variety, will go through the summer. So, and then that is one of my favorite sages. Let me think of the name of it. What's the name of it? with the blue flower. Ah, it'll come to me. It's one of my favorites. And I'll put it up on the screen. It's just leaving me right now. This parvula gum here, eucalyptus, this is the 3rd year it's lived in my garden. It should not live here. I'm in a zone 6B/7. It should not really overwinter here, but it does, and I love it. I dry it. I use it in bouquets. Oh, I'm so happy. It's one, I think it's just one plant. And then we have a lot of yarrow here that's gone over, but you can see the buds coming on. Behind that is more sunspot sunflowers. And then this bed of Cosmo, my garden assistant sowed for me, and I think I did a boo-boo because I know better. You do not fertilize Cosmo. You see why I'm not getting a lot of blooms, because I accidentally fertilized it. I did a boo-boo, but it's got some pretty rubenza there. I don't remember you sowing rubenza. I thought it was all of the sonata. I thought this whole thing was sonata, but I must have had some rubenza seed mixed in there. And then this flamingo celosia is all self-seeded here. All self-seeded, right? We know that celosia in the garden, you have it forever and ever and ever. And then however these forget-me-nots got in here, I do not know. But honey, if you can see back there, that is the top. I just kind of leaned it up against the fence. That's the top of the Lisianthus. My little Lisianthus bed to give it some shade was my idea because Lisianthus doesn't like hot sun. So the idea was good in theory, it just wasn't tall enough. And then back to this bed has become a mess. You can see all the self-seeded celosia in here. And I've used a little bit of it for bouquets, but this is all the flamingo and a couple other varieties. Did a bed and also did not harvest my frosted explosion grass. I love frosted explosion grass, and I don't know why I grow so much of it. Because I used a lot of it last year for bouquets, but I did not use it this year. Bad me. And so, anyway, you know how we do that. This is some leftover bouquet dill seed that I had, and you can see it didn't get real tall. But let me see if I can climb over here without falling down. Yeah, I love bouquet dill. I don't use it in my arrangements because it's very strong dill smell. I know a lot of growers do, but I just love the flower heads. Oh, a container of lobelia here, I winter sowed this. It was in winter jugs, and it's just so cute. Of course, you can't use it for, bouquets or anything, but it's just so cute. Look at this. This is another one of my favorite evolvulus. Look at the blooms on that. Isn't that sweet? That is so sweet. So these lights I don't like as well as the ones over here. I like them, but I love these. These are like so pretty at night. I'll definitely put some of that footage in here. Hello, Butter. Aw, you sweet. Aw, that was a good shot, honey. So let's go back over here and look at a few more butterflies, and then we'll wrap this up. Oh, they're flying. I disturbed them. Can you get them there? I do have a little barrel of strawberries here that I just kind of eat on when I'm in here in the garden. Those are ever-bearing strawberries. These are mini petunias. They need to be fertilized, but aren't they pretty? They just kind of hang out here. The reason why I don't do petunias or supertunias much anymore is because I'm not really willing to spray for the budworms. But no budworms on these. So anyway, they're so cute. And then this is portulaca here. Your portulaca, I noticed by your playhouse, is so pretty. And mine is like, meh, bleh. Anyway, you have the green thumb, girlfriend. You do. You definitely do. She was just planting beets this morning. That's a good reminder for me, and I'm sweating. that's a good reminder because it's time to plant my carrots for the fall and the winter and my beets, right? So, did you plant any carrots? You're going to plant carrots? You did? Ah, awesome. Here's a pretty butterfly. Tiger swallowtail. Really, I have not seen one monarch yet. Have you? No, I'm so sad. And we have a lot of milkweed on the farm, but no monarch. Is that a hummingbird behind me? So because we did the garden renovation, I had to take out all of my drip irrigation system just because it didn't work for the layout. So I have been using this, I think it's called Melnor Sprinkler. I have two of them. I have one, if you want to show over there, one smaller on the ground and this one. And then I have other sprinklers in other parts. But I am really pleased. Now, I will say that drip irrigation, I think, is the best, definitely the best. But the second best, I think, is these sprinklers. And no, like I said, no powdery mildew on the zinnia. I am so pleased with how these are doing. And I have them set up on timers over here. I'll show you. You can see the timers. And then we just buried the hoses. So I will take these hoses up during the winter because they're, they should be taken up and kind of blown out of the water. But I am really pleased with how this is done. And when it gets super hot, I might set them up for 3 to 4 times a day for 5 minutes at a time for watering. So we had like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we had to do a lot of watering to keep everything hydrated. And we've been in a drought. So anyway, very pleased with how these are doing. And one more spot I forgot to show you, which is always a little bit of an enjoyable thing for me. This is ageratum, tall ageratum. And this is the second flush, so it's a lot shorter. The first flush I dried, but I always enjoy growing that. And then this is, it's not bouquet dill, it's fern leaf dill. And it's just about done now. But the flower heads are much smaller and they don't have the really strong dill smell, so they're a lot better to put in your bouquets. So fern leaf dill, I really enjoyed growing that as well. Oh, hi, Butter. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing how everything has progressed throughout the summer, and hope your gardens are doing well. And until next time, friends, happy gardening. Bye-bye.